Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Rev Marie. Today's beautiful cards come to us from the Lantern Oracle. This is a really nice deck and it brings us many insights. I mean, without illuminating the shadows, how can we empower our path? So please have a look at the cards and the crystals. I have the first card, which with the moonstone, the second card, Septarian crystal, and the third, turquoise. Now know that whatever card you choose is the one that is meant for you. And some of the other cards may have a message that holds truth for you as well. Now, some of you may even know right away which card you want or which crystal that is popping up. And that is your intuition. Follow that, please. Another thing that is beautiful about the Lantern Oracle is it teaches us each card pertaining to the three phases of life. The Maiden, the Mother, and Crone. And lately I've heard there's another edition, so there's 4, but we're dealing here with the 3 phases. So let's take a look at number 1. And know that you are here for a reason. You need this message. Number 1 is number 34 circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. So our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and relationship patterns are potentially detrimentally circular when they remain unconscious. This is the Crone here. So without acknowledging that we do not know what we are doing or how to get different results, it seems as though the same disappointments, ruts, and detours keep happening to us. This is because we do not realize our subconscious part in these unwanted reoccurrences, nor that we have the power to exit the un-merry-go-round. If we do nothing different happens. We will only continue to reenact our default setting automatically. A life lived in circles inevitably limits what is possible for us. It can also be particularly harmful when toxic relationships, addictions, or financial dependence is involved. So awareness of how we perpetuate more of the same is necessary before we can consciously create an upward and outward spiral of our life for ourselves. The key is to become aware of the highly charged and compulsive psychological dynamics influencing us. Without clarity, we cannot exit this rut. So although it can be painful and confronting to understand the dynamics that continue to trigger us, awareness is the key. So to support you in this process, you can journal your responses to the following questions. Where in your life do you feel stuck and not know what to do? So write out that inner dialogue or thoughts surrounding the areas from that question. So review what you have written. Notice areas where there is logic or lack of logic to your inner dialogue. You can highlight any incongruent thoughts and emotional process that are at play and make a note of the effects of them on you. Notice your emotions. Notice any instances that send your confidence spiraling downward, and determine whether this negatively impacts your ability to break out of any circular life patterns that you wish to be free of. List anything and everything that you can do about what seems to be preventing you from moving forth. And make a list of capable and appropriate people who can be called upon for help and support as you venture beyond life as you have known it. Circles that spiral downward are often the effects of unconscious repetitions and confusion. So in this sense, we're the ones who prohibit us from venturing forth. So we're the ones that are keeping us kind of shackled, right? So to acknowledge that we do not know what to do about something, we begin to see with increasingly clarity, logic, desires, and emotion what is confusing and therefore prohibiting us. Once we can see things for what they are, we can recognize what we can do about them. There's always pardon me, more than one way out of any circle. Now you're ready to be free and go forth. Focus your attention on who you are without the hopes, fears, distractions, and preoccupations. In other words, focus on who you would be and what you would be without the problems, the drama, impossible lifestyle, or comfort zone you may be circling. And your Crone message is, you are your white horse, ever equipped to move forth. See, she's on a white horse. She's ready. She's ready to move forth. Now that's a beautiful card for the number 1. Now let's look at number 2. The Septarian stone. Number 2 is Metaphysical. Power and strength lie within our surrender to change. This is the Maiden's message here. Attention is your key to everywhere and everything and anything. Spirit self is access through the experience of being in harmonious union with the world, situation, and others. Right? So, while many forces, circumstances, events significantly impact and direct our lives, we still have many choices. The trick is to recognize where they are and deliberately choose and therefore shape the overall transformation outcome we experience. The nature of life is an ongoing invitation and at times challenges us to participate in its perpetual metamorphosis. Creative perception, critical thinking, authentic action, and courage can assist us in making the most of the choices available to us. So our decisions are how we adapt and come to own and know ourselves through any significant change that is not of our choosing. Metamorphosis, she is the cycle of the Maiden. And so the Maiden struggles to let go of the maidenhood. She clings to the androgyny of girlhood and steadfastly resists the onset of puberty that is propelling her out of the most insular chapter of life. Change is a process of decay, clearing, regeneration, and renewal through growth that is typically challenging, messy, and emotional. Like the Maiden, we too can feel overwhelmed, confused, and even traumatized in the face of change. Even in instances where the change has been desired and self-initiated, it can still feel disruptive and like an intrusion. You may be at a point where something needs to give. There may also be a significant past change that remains unprocessed and therefore disruptively unassimilated to your current situation. Whether or not the impending or past change is wanted, be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Tend lovingly to any feelings of confusion, dislocation, fear, anger, frustration, or loss. Take the time to recognize and act on the choices you currently have and base your decision on what will meet any needs that your adaptation process requires. Let go of what is letting go of you. Allow the tide of time to take what it wants back into the ocean of life and release the treasures upon your shore. Always ask yourself, what is in my power to choose right now? What choices do I want to make here and why? Is this decision ultimately from a place of self-love? If you're not sure, ask yourself, is the choice aligned with what pure source would love me to choose for myself? When it comes to choices and decision, always ask, what is the choice for your highest good? And your higher self won't deceive you. Again, wonderful, wonderful card. Now the last card, number 3. Let me see here, number 3. The turquoise. Melting mask. So allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. This is from the cycle of the mother. A role becomes a mask when it distorts, constricts, or conceals rather than reflect a true expression of your spirit self. The ego, like the body and emotions, are tools. Their function, when used appropriately and proportionally, is to give authentic form and expression to our spirit self. A mask always arises out of ego. The ego's desire to be real and in control when in fact it's not. Right? So drawing this card signifies the impending loss of a mask to an encounter, an event, or a circumstance that incites its melting. A period of confusion, turmoil, or grief may follow this mask's dissolution. It had once served you in some way. Therefore, it is a loss that can take some adjustment, especially if there remains a significant identification with an attachment to this mask. Anytime there's change, there's always an adaptation, right? Now, the featured mother wishes to assure you that the dissolution of any mask is a blessing. With time, you will begin to see that losing the image of who you thought you were or had believed that you needed to be is, in fact, the liberating path to experiencing all the more that you are. So to support you through this time of change, tune into your spirit self. Tune into the spirit self light, love, and stillness. Observe which roles in your life feel good, natural, and autonomous. Ask yourself, what are my main roles at the moment? And what does it mean to me? Would I be more or less myself without it? Would I be seen by others to be more or less without it? Such roles may include mother, daughter, friend, employee, employer, partner, student, or volunteer. Then ask, which of these roles are draining? Which are energizing? Are any fraught with drama or boring? Do you feel like masks stifling me through obligations? I often resent rather than loving fulfill. So upon reviewing the answers to these questions, is there a current role that functions more like a constricting mask that you would love to lose? Or would be terrified of melting? So regardless how you answer, it is important to keep in mind that you are in essence. None of the roles you have or wish to fulfill, nor any of the restrictive masks of a concealment that they may have or might turn into. At most, a role can transparently and joyously express an aspect of your spirit self. Life is always better when you know which roles are fulfilling for you. Be sure to prioritize and enjoy them wherever and whenever possible. The Mother's message to you is, it is important for a mass to melt once the function it had served dips into detrimentally constricting us at our highest level. We're all energy, and change is often met with fright, but change is good. We need to be moving, keeping moving, growing, learning, relearning sometimes, sharing what we learned. So I hope you enjoyed this video reading today. Like I said, this is a very good deck to go deep into yourself. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye for now.